Hello, this is Starseed Igmeister, and today I want to talk more about the mind, the power of our mind, as well as the pitfalls of our mind. And this is super important topic because this is where it all starts. Okay, our incarnation into the body has to deal with mind first and foremost. When we are young, when we are little, we are mimicking and mirroring everything from our environment, primarily from our parents and eventually from our family, preschool, our culture, the society, friends, people around us. And for most part, we don't really question a lot of things. I mean, when we start developing language, we keep asking a lot of questions. We keep asking why, and that's healthy. But many times we don't receive good enough answers. I remember many times asking why, and I would receive answer like because that's the way it is. But there was no good explanation to my question. And my question was just really left unanswered. And so it is difficult for us to accept answers that are inadequate or the questions that are not fully answered for us. And because we are in amnesia when we incarnate, we desire to understand, we desire to know why are certain things the way they are. But for most part, unless we have conscious parents, our parents don't know, and they are either unwilling or unable to really explore these questions fully and to explain to us what's really going on. So we many times unwillingly or unknowingly just accept, or willingly, I should say, accept what is being told to us, and we accept these constructs and concepts as if they are the truth. And for most part, a lot of times it's not the truth. And once we awaken from this slumber, from this dream, we start questioning the reality and the entire construct all over again. And it all starts in the mind. Why in the mind? Because mind and thoughts is where it all starts. Our thoughts are seeds of reality. The creative potential is in the mind. So mind is a very powerful tool. And mind, when it is utilized properly, when it's instructed correctly, meaning that we provided with proper instruction sets from the perspective that I am the master and you are the tool, mind being the tool, mind being the slave to our commands, then we can actually create something beautiful with it. And so there are many beautiful results or products of creative mind at its best, like beautiful music or creating a delicious, beautiful feast or meal for friends or family. It could be used constructively to put together a plan for an event or to create design for a house or architectural building, a structure of some sort. So it could be used constructively in so many different creative ways that are beneficial and useful to us. However, it can also use us if we don't choose to use it properly. And this is the pitfall of the mind, that if we don't use it properly, it'll most likely turn against us and it will start using us instead. I always like to refer back to Eckhart Tolle and his book, Practicing the Power of Now. The very first sentence in that book says, the beginning of freedom is a realization that I am not the thinker. Okay. And this is a powerful sentence. This is the very first sentence of that book. And I've listened to that book many times driving in my car, so I have it memorized. And, very first time when I heard that sentence, it made me think. And he goes on to explaining like, okay, when you notice that you can actually be the witness, when you can be the observer of your mind, of your thoughts, then it becomes clearer that you are not your thoughts. You're something beyond those thoughts. You have different vantage point or perspective where you can actually observe what's going on in your mind. And that forces you to face this dilemma. Who am I? Who am I if I'm not my own mind? And you will most likely arrive at conclusion that I am the greater consciousness behind the mind. So the mind is a construct, just like your personality is a construct. And many of us are still married to this concept that, I am this Joe, or I am Mary, or whoever, that I am this name, I am this heritage, I am this race, I am, the product of my education, I am whatever, this particular, religion. And these are all constructs. And when you are holding on to these constructs and ideas, you still have no idea who you truly are, because you are something much, much, much greater than that. And this is what I want to talk about. So when you understand that you are not your mind, this is kind of first step of activating of higher aspect of yourself, of higher aspect of your consciousness. This is where it starts. If you choose to go there, okay? Because it's a choice. We have a choice to evolve. We don't have to. We exist in free will universe, and you can stay where you are at, or you can evolve if you choose to evolve. If you choose to see that, then you have options, okay? Understanding that you are not your mind is critical. Understanding that mind is a powerful tool is critical. And then next, understanding that mind needs to be used in a very specific way. And if it's not utilized, it'll most likely turn against you. It'll try to use you. For majority of humanity that is unawakened, unfortunately, the mind, it has taken over, and it makes them believe that this is who they are, and they're acting out from their personality, from their ego, which is why there is so much conflict, drama in the world, because mind that is unchecked, that runs wild without proper instructions, without proper guidance from our heart, will create chaos. Okay? Because mind will try to define itself through some external validations. So it will receive input through external senses. Understand that all your senses, whether it is your sight, hearing, sense of touch, smell, whatever it is, are translated in your brain into electromagnetic impulses and are basically registered in mind that way. So you can see as all of it around you as a construct, and mind is all just receiving these electromagnetic inputs, which is just energy, right? And so the mind likes to define itself through those external stimuli and feedback to reinforce itself. So the mind will have propensity to criticize, to judge, to make itself better in some aspect, to compete, right? And then it'll also create resentments if we didn't get what it wanted, right? It'll create anger. It'll create all sorts of conflicts and drama. And this is what we are seeing in a world where humanity predominantly has been living in their minds and not allowing their hearts to guide their experience. Now we have a choice. The only way that I understood through my downloads to be free of mind is to really exist in our heart. Okay. And so heart has its own intelligence. They're both intelligent, mind and heart. But heart, and I'm talking about our high heart, which is not really the physiological heart, but the energetic center that represents the portal to our higher self, as well as to the divinity or source. And when you exist from heart, then you are tapping into completely different intelligence, intelligence that has certain knowing, intelligence that is connected to the unity, that is connected to greatest good for all beings involved. And it's not just about me, 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 which is what mind creates. Okay. And so we have a choice to exist in our hearts when we have compassion for everybody, when we are in non-judgment, when we understand that we are all one in this experience. Okay, this is what unity consciousness is, knowing that we are all one. So we are simultaneously individuals having individual experience in this reality, but at the same time, we're aspect of the one. And it's not a two different things. It's the one and the same thing. And this is one thing that the linear mind cannot comprehend really effectively, that, being individual and simultaneously aspect of the unity complex of greater consciousness of the source, it has hard time accepting that reality or understanding that reality. And this is what we are. Okay, so as energy beings, circling back to what I shared previously, we are energy beings, we are greater consciousness. Okay, and so you can choose to exist in your heart, and you can hone your being in heart daily and have practices that lead you there. This is why I'm a big supporter of meditation, daily meditation practice, preferably first thing in the morning. I like to meditate for an hour, and there's some people who do it more. It's not necessary for everybody to do it for an hour, maybe start with 10 minutes or whatever it is. But, the daily practice is really important because it helps us to observe our mind and what's going on in our mind. And so that is the best teacher, when you can actually observe what's going on. And that is when you can actually have that tangible experience of observing what's going on in your mind, how your mind runs into circles, how it miscreates various things when it's not being directed or guided. Okay. And, eventually you can settle in the space of this a great peace and tranquility, understanding that I am not your mind. You can allow mind to do what it wants, but don't associate with it, don't identify with it, and don't take everything that goes through it so seriously. And then when you do use it very deliberately with specific instruction sets, and don't trust it as much as maybe you have in the past. Verify, and maybe try to triple check everything to make sure that the mind produced the result that you are satisfied with. So we always have a choice, and that is what I wanted you to take home from that mind is a powerful tool, but it needs to be used properly. And most of us are not using it properly. And most people are actually under the spell of the mind, which is why there is so much chaos and disorder in this world. So the shift in consciousness that's happening in humanity will have to do a lot with the way we approach our mind, with the way we are actually seeing ourselves as individuals and as aspects of the source or the collective unity consciousness. And these things will need to shift. The sooner we get there individually, the sooner the collective will make it there, which is why I consider this work so important, because nobody else can do it for us. We can only do it for ourselves, and it involves our own personal choice. And it is up to you what you choose to do with that. And nobody else will judge you for it, because every soul is on its own journey. And what you choose to do with your own journey is your own business. Namaste.